Hello, greetings to everyone who's watching this. My name is Aashir Vahidy. Um, we are now talking. My group has made a presentation for the benefits of Linux over Windows as a web server, and the team that I have included is an intelligent people of other than me. Obviously, it will be including Marwin Alajar, and the second one will be Mathudshan Pakeerathan. So let's move to the next slide, and where we will be able to see more information. So some of you might be wondering what is actually Linux. So Linux is something that it is an open source software. It is an operating system other than the Windows that we actually use it. Very useful. Linux is one of the very important and useful open operating system. It gives users a lot of flexibility, and in this presentation we are definitely going to be talking more about the flexibility part as well. So let's move forward to the next slide. So let's do talk about when a bit of difference between Windows operating system and Linux operating system, as well as their web servers as well. So Linux is basically an open source operating system. When we call it open source, that means that it is not of the free, but it has a freedom of a lot of things to be that we would be able to do it for a very, I mean, it is many things are available, so you would be able to make changes according to it, and you would have certification, and you would have digital allowance for them. Whereas when we do see it Windows, we do see it as a closed source operating system, which means that we are not able to make much of the changes, so user does not have that much of the power when we talk about the Windows operating system and Windows web servers. So again, as you can see it on the slide, that why would we, one of the main reason of why would we choose the Windows Linux operating system over the Windows operating system, it is because of the cost. First of all, when it comes to the cost, as you can read it from here as well, it is a very low cost option that is available to the public, which is how the things have been going on with the inflation and everything. Everyone likes to be keeping the cost of everything to be tight according to their budget, and Linux may be set up with a wide variety of tools to provide security, scalability, and device compatibility, ensuring that customers' needs are satisfied quickly. So Linux do make sure that you do have the best of the best satisfaction that you can ever get. So let's talk more about Linux open source web servers. So what Linux does is it provides administrators the power to set up their web servers as they like. They don't have to worry about the more configuration. They can make up their own codes. They can make up their own system. They can make up everything according to their own choice, and they don't have to worry about anything there. And whereas Windows doesn't allow you to modify the codes, and Windows doesn't allow to make sure, Windows have some rules that it wants you to follow, whereas with the Linux web server you do have the freedom as you would like. Another thing that I mentioned to you earlier on is about the cost effectiveness. The best thing about the Linux is that you do not have to pay for the software fees. You do not have to pay for the licenses fees. Most of the software and products are free of cost. Some comes with a cost, but most of them are free of cost. So that gives the new developers, the new web servers installers, ability to make their codes according to their however they would like. So let's move forward to the next slide. Another very great advantage of Linux web server is their security. So in the Windows web servers, you do have to wait until the Microsoft fixes, or whoever Windows is being run by at that time has to fix the system. Whereas in the Linux, most things are usually being done just when the when you can see the users being reporting something, so you would be able to fix it according to your choice as well. When we talk about Linux web server and we do not talk about the stability, it is very impossible. So the one of the basic things that we do get from Linux web server is the stability. Very consistent with the stability. Very rarely there will be some downtime, and there is usually, you can make sure that you have everything running according to the schedule, maintenance and everything, and you do not have to worry about it. And you run your secure code according to yourself, and so that makes sure that you do have very less downtime in that case. So the next step we do have is scalability. One of the major things that Linux takes a pride in is it is compatible with the most of the different devices that are available out there. Make sure that the Linux ecosystem, it enables administrator to alter servers to fit a variety of hardware and usage scenarios. Linux may be used to run little computer electronics to some supercomputer, whereas Windows focuses more on personal PCs and server setup. So this is where you come. Linux, you can use it on any size of computer, in whichever you would like, whereas the scalability of Windows is being, we all know that mostly very good in a very good PCs, some servers, some depending on laptops. So now the improvement of Linux has been done. It has now been compatible with many of the devices, many of the web servers that has been used. So it is not much of the issue anymore. It used to be a concern for many of the Windows user of how the compatibility would work and how it would be compatible to their devices or not, or if the web server is a good enough configuration available for the Linux or not. But now Linux do have a very stable compatibility, and its open source nature enables easier access, integration with a variety of website and development tools. So you do not have to worry much about it when you're using Linux open source tools in there. So the basic thing is, I wouldn't say it's a very huge difference between when we compare the performance of both of the servers, Windows and Linux. But they are marginally. Linux has a bit of marginal upper hand when we do talk about the Linux web server, whereas Microsoft web servers have been a bit lower, especially because there's a lot of background activities that has been going on in the Microsoft. So when you compare that, Linux has a very basic infrastructure, basic services, and their background activities, you do not have to much worry about it, as it does make sure that there is very minimal background activity and these kind of things going on in there. So in conclusion, after looking at all the factors that has been involved in the Windows as a web server, we do find it to be better than Windows web server. It gives a bit better of open source. It has a better of scalability, and also with the compatibility now it is working better. The performance wise, has always been better. Linux, as it makes sure that there is the response head time and everything like that is very good. So, and they do have active maintenance and support from its large user base. Also, the cost effectiveness part makes sure that the Linux go over on top, and on top of that. So that is it from my presentation. Hope you guys like it. The next slide you will be able to see the references being available to our website of our research. You should be able to see those. If you do have any questions, you can write it down in the comment below in the YouTube video, or you can email it to me. If you are a professor, you would have access to my information. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to present in front of everyone, whoever has a link to watch it. So thank you so much. Have a good one.